Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? I hope you hear me well, since I am on a different situation today. Life happened where we're too busy making plans. I think that we are okay. Communication. Somebody can tell me if you can hear me, please. We have a lot of people put a yes. I using an external microphone is the best I can do today, assuming that we are live and you hear me. Hi everyone, like I said, we are in a special situation today because I need to give a training on the city and I didn't want to do this recording because I do know there's a lot of people making questions regarding AI and the brain. We're going to talk how AI emulate your brain and why. Yes, thank you very much, Ali, for letting me know. What can I do without you guys? So I never had so many private questions and so many share of the post. So thank you very much because without you guys, we are nothing. Seriously, we are nothing. So before we start talking about AI, and everybody talk about AI, we know the good, the bad, the ugly, but nobody talk about AI and the brain. And I have a really, really good question from Buxton that if you are on the chat, I would really appreciate it you do it again so people understand the context. So we're going to talk about your brain. I don't know how you see this image, but this is my right brain. My right brain manages the left part of my body, and I promise not to go too geeky. And the left brain manages the right part of my body. Now, the right brain, even though there is not completely that way, I'm going to simplify it, not modify, but simplify how the brain works. The right part of the brain is the one who manages emotions, images, majority of the speech. The left part of the brain is that the one who manage or that manage, I given a persona to the brain, that manage the more logical part, numbers, equation. Now, when we're talking about AI and the use of AI, one of the things that I think that we need to start demystifying AI and ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever you use, DeepSeek, are processors. It's not Google. If I put suddenly Queen and AI and any AI try to do it, it's gonna show you pictures of the Queen, a bed. There's a performer artist that called Queen, the group Queen. There's many ways. Now, if you ask, can you show me pictures of the Queen of England between 1950s and 1960? It's gonna ask you, you want studies? You want to know what's going on? You want a context? Is go deeper. So when you think about AI, you need to divide the two parts of the brain. You need to separate the part of the brain that manage complex situations and the part of the brain who manage complicated situations. Left brain is complicated, right brain is complex. And why I make this different? It's a difference between emergency and urgency, and it's a difference between complex and complicated. Complex situations are situations that are need to be resolved by a human interaction. An AI cannot and will not fix and make any solution to any complex situation. Because in order to resolve a complex situation, you need to get empathy, emotions, content, and context. I'm going to give you an example. One of the biggest cases that I work, and you know, so I'm going to make it short. Long story short, LA, downtown, LA to Calabasas, 5 p.m. on a Wednesday, super crowded. A detective contacted me and says, we have this person suspect to kill his wife. It's something about a statement that doesn't make sense. I reviewed the statement. I come back to him and says, ask him how long it took it to go from work to his home. And he says, for 7 or more pages of the statement, that is the only question you have? Yes. What happened? When he was asked how long it take you to go from work to home, nobody understood when he says it's only 30 miles, that 30 miles in LA on a Wednesday on rush hour to Calabasas can take to between 90 to 120 minutes. By re-asking the questions, what happened is that the person was exonerated and the police find out there was another person who killed it. That is a complex question. That is your right part of the brain. Now, how did I get that information? I went to ChatGTP at that point and asked, complicated left brain, and asked, can you tell me what traffic conditions were present going through all the towers, all the accidents, and all the weathers happening this day between this window of the time? And just happened that that Wednesday, what happened, it was an accident, there was construction, so apparently it took longer. So when we talk about AI, left and right brain, you need to understand the content and context. Greti, my question concern I have with AI. Okay, so I'm going to show the question. Thank you, John Yordall. My question concern I have with AI is age-based. Mature brains encounter it and using it to extend their ability seems safer than being exposed at an early age. Obvious concern is I am old enough to know what I am doing, but uh, but that is just biased. No, actually, John, you're not biased. I love, love, love that question. Why? It's something called, and I always use it, and in Italian sound better. It says, I'm sorry for the noise, guys. It's the only place I can do this live. The devil knows for being old and being the devil. The fact that our generations wasn't born and raised in a hyper technology era allow us to, when we go confront the problem, in this case when we go to confront AI or any technological support, we know what we're looking for, we know the destination, and we know the trip that we're going to take. We use any technology to supplement what we want. In this point, most generations has born and raised knowing that the cell phone is everything in your life. So people cheat on exams. They use ChatGPT to do papers, and we're going to talk about that. They use everything in here. We're coming from a generation that we know they're going to have help, but maybe the help is not going to be there. So what happened with the new generations, because I saw it all the time when you have old and new generations integration in a company, is young generation have a struggle to have real-time conversations, how to do email, how to establish rapport, and how to understand empathy, and how to get out of the script when somebody put them out of the script. Why I say with this, uh, ChatGPT, Gemini. I think that we generalize ChatGPT like we generalize Google in something. People use ChatGPT or AI to establish how I'm going to send the sequence of emails, if I can Google information about you, how I'm going to put that information. But in some point, that information, it's only an anecdote and become almost obsolete when I'm in front of you. So the complicated part is get all the information and gather. But when I'm in front of the person, now the complex and the emotional and the right brain coming. Because when I ask you how you doing, great. It's no ChatGPT, it's no AI that can understand that. And maybe a young generation that it doesn't know how to confront, it doesn't know how to have a conversation, is going to escape from that interaction because they don't know what to do and they're going to go to the script. So yes, it's an advantage to be older. It's an advantage not have been born with the technology because that is something that is easy to understand. The problem is the one who have been born and raised with the technology and they don't know how to adapt to the complex part that is human to human interaction. That is called soft skills. And you can Google, you can do it in an AI, but at the moment to have a relationship, at the moment to understand, you only can use a human. I've been hired to test many, many AIs, and not to brag, everybody in my field, can beat an AI? John, if you're still there, can you tell me if it makes sense? The answer is long, but actually you synthesize a lot of things that I was supposed to talk on the presentation in the beginning. So if you can give me a thumbs up, if you can tell me if it makes sense, I would appreciate it. Or I can bring you in and tell me what do you think. Ready, guys, to go to the presentation and tell me what you think? Let's go for it. So we're going to be talking about AI, how it emulates your brain and why. So, AI studies on cognitive decreased brain functions has been presented. And we did an article, and what we're going to do is put on the comment all the articles. And today, great explanation. Thank you. If you want anything else you want to know, any other explanation or expand on the explanation, please ask it because there's so much information that sometimes you go in your own head. And again, Elva and I, you don't have an idea, guys, how difficult it is for us to see what we're going to be covering. So when you ask questions, you make us a favor. Thank you, John. And today I'm going to publish an article with a little more nerdy and deeper of the things that we're going to talk about today, and they're going to be on it's going to be on the comments. One of the things that I'm going to put on the comment is the article that we did an MIT First Brain Scan study. ChatGPT user reveal shocking results. Which one are those results? Is that if you only rely on AI to do papers or to do search and put it in a report, probably you're not gonna remember anything there after 24 hours. And another thing that is really complicated and scared me is that you don't learn to synthesize. One of the things, and I don't want to criticize the new generation because my generation make the new generation, so we are responsible for it. But one of the things that scare me is that we have the ability to synthesize huge amount of data. AI can do that, but if for any reason, in any meeting, and any negotiation, and any interaction, you're not going to have ChatGPT. You can take notes, but you start shrinking your brain. Uh, oh, thank you. No question, but just to tell you that you're really awesome. Susan, thank you for all the info. Thank you very much. I don't know your name because I only knew the screen name, Ali. Thank you. I appreciate you for being here. So what happened with this is use AI. Don't stop using it. I use it for absolutely everything. Actually, I have studies where it says you need to use AI and how AI is saving us on this. For example, help learning. People with learning or limitations, we couldn't write, we couldn't do this present. Elva and I were dyslexic, okay? And on top of that, I have Asperger. It's difficult for me to understand emotion in a personal situation, and business situation is easy. But Elva and I, we did masters, we write articles because we have the support of AI. AI is something that is doing crazy. I've been reading research all weekend is re- reading minds for neurological problems. AI was found that it can translate with people that cannot express speechment or talk if thinking and translate those words. It's amazing. If we would have said that 5 years ago, we would think it's a Star Trek movie. Big data summary, but they don't big data understanding. We need to make the difference. Read people who have help help people who have problems. Read articles. Most of the AI now you put an article or you put a synthesized information and it's reading it to you. For people who have problem reading and slow reading, oh my God, that is amazing. It's like a new world in front of me. Cognitive diagnostic. ChatGPT and other AIs can be trained to determine when you interact with them if you're having any cognitive decline or signs of Alzheimer. That is amazing. The problem is we are afraid to the technology. We don't need to be afraid. We need to be aware. It's like going to the jungle. You don't need to be afraid. You need to be aware and you need to be prepared. So you need to train this little machine, the same way you train your Alexa, the same way you train your air condition, is no different there. It's nothing wrong with that. Now, which part of the brain control intelligence? To not go too deep on this, the article that I'm going to be publishing in around an hour and a half in our blog is going to be talking about this. So you can take your time and process and watch the recording too. You want to connect with me, you want to connect with the team, you want to connect with us regarding how this work, how we're going to be talking and see the other articles. Elva, that is a trooper, she is missing university classes this week to be here and put in the links, but synthesizing the majority of my things are primary and LinkedIn because this is the majority of my audience. Let's go with the presentation today. AI isn't replacing your brain. What AI is doing is when a machine imitates your shortcuts, your brain stops using its strength. Again, when a machine imitates your shortcut, your brain stops using it is as a strength. What I mean with this is your brain is a muscle. So I had, due to the a doctor malpractice a long time, like 10 years ago, a series of inconvenience in my body. One of the things that, due to the malpractice, was a problem in my frontal lobe. I was having stupid moments all the time until a doctor in Frankfurt found out and helped me to recover due to certain medication, routine, exercise. One of the exercise is reading, doing puzzles, writing by hand, doing motricity with the hands. Now I can write with my two hands at the same time, left to right and right to left. I couldn't do that before I started doing my cognitive and neuroplasticity. Before I couldn't do it. If I stop doing my neuroplasticity exercise, probably I'm gonna go to size zero in my brain, and I don't want to do size zero in my body is okay, but in my brain it is not. Your brain is stopped trying when you only use AI. AI used to show 50% less brain engagement. We're talking a half, we're talking about half and coins. God, Lord, when you see the numbers, it's kind of scary, no? Again, just use AI as a complement, not as a tool. They forget what they wrote. They became passive plus repetitive. Switching back to thinking make them worse. So you use AI. Suddenly you need to think, you feel overwhelmed, you don't want to use it, and the brain refuses it. Your brain shut down. AI takes over. Not the ideal solution. Do you know that inside of what is soft skills, and we're going to talk in a simple way, soft skills, critical thinking is the number one thing, and after that communication, team building, etc., that the companies are looking for at the time to hire someone. You can have a degree from an elite university and you don't have soft skills and you rely completely on AI, nothing is going to happen. Cognitive debt, less critical thinking, like I told you, less originality, because what you need to understand that when you use any of the system in AI, they grab information from everybody else. What you don't know about hallucination, that most people don't understand the concept and the problem with hallucination, is that you don't know if that information is bring that somebody is stupid, sorry, or extremely intelligent. You don't know what information is gathering. In the beginning of ChatGPT, what they found out 2 or 3 months after it started with the experiment of ChatGPT, that ChatGPT started becoming a little more dumb, to say that, so nobody get offended. Why? Because people was doing stupid questions. Always remember the questions are more important than the answer because the answers are going to be a consequence of the questions are you doing. Again, questions are more important than the answers because the answers come in as a consequence the questions you do. You can lie to me, but you need to stop lying when I keep doing questions that you cannot get away with. Less memory, lower neural connectivity. AI save effort now and kill thinking later. Again, if you keep taking the shortcut, you're gonna get to a point that your brain gonna stop thinking. Why? Because you make it too easy for him. Again, we're gonna have articles, is more information, and my LinkedIn. That is where we put everything about me, the company, and I articles. You can go to the newsletter, subscribe to the newsletter. It's free. You don't need to give your information, but you make sure that every time that we publish something on the newsletter, you can have access. This is where this information is going to be a little more nerdy. Let's put it that way. And on Friday, we're going to have, oh my God, Friday is tomorrow. What happened with this week? We are in a call society, and we're going to talk about ChatGPT with Jeff. And you says, wait a minute, he was a Nazi recruiter? But guess what? The technique used in advertisement and media, on Element and Tupperware and all those things coming from Nazi propaganda. It's amazing. You're gonna be amazed how things happen. Now, AI amplify your shortcuts, confirmation bias. Here is what we're talking about. The Elba and I, we love this part. Is behavioral economics and our bias. Kahneman, Nobel Prize, confirmation bias. AI reinforce whatever you already believe. Guess what? Remember the part when I told you that the questions are more important than the answers? If you make a question to only confirm your bias, what you're going to find is reply to those questions. So, prompting engineering, then we teach a lot. It's how you're going to make the question to have the answer you need, not the answer you want. Automatization bias. If AI say it, you stop thinking. You stop thinking. You don't question when AI is telling you. What if AI is wrong? What if AI is hallucinating? What AI is make you a question, you copy paste, but you didn't realize that at the end says we need to synthesize this or get more information. At least read it and process it by your own. Overconfidence bias. AI boosts confidence, not accuracy. You can be cocky, but doesn't mean that you can win the fight. You need to understand that your cockiness doesn't make you more intelligent, doesn't make you better. The machine learning your shortcuts. Because if you have a private account, we have private account with all the system. The truth to be told, I never lie about that. I never say anything, and you can see my nose wrinkle because I'm kind of pissed off. Then I need it, but guess what? I do need all those systems and AI in order to be functional. We are faster, we speed it, help us with our dyslexia and my Asperger to gather huge amount of data. But at the end, is the human who get and do something with that data. When AI fails, these are huge fails. And today we're going to do a live with Jay McAllister. Later, I think it's 3:30. Our live with Jay. We're going to be talking about legal setting and AI. Lawyers' cases, AI invented cases. Lawyer trusted, he lost. Long story short, what happened with this case is a lawyer ran all a presentation to a judge through ChatGPT. Nobody checked it. Nobody in the law firm checked it. So when the case was presented, every case in the United States except Alabama, that is Roman law, all the other states in the United States, you use that you get by precedent. So I don't know, Smith versus Ivitz, January 2, 2010, and you have a nomenclature, you have a phrase when you have the number on the book that was published on the journal and you can look it. Guess what happened? When they looked for the journal, the numbers didn't made up. The journal was for the future journals that wasn't published. So when they started scrapping the situation, they found out everything on the judge in front of the judge presentation was made up. Not only this person suffered huge consequence, the client suffered consequences. Who's going to hire a lawyer that failed because everything was done by AI? Mm-mm. Eating disorder cases. Actually, we have a live with my dear friend Dave Oates. He is a high profile PR crisis management. And we talk about this case. The bulimic, one of the bulimic association, I don't remember the name right now. I remember cases but no names. Decide to replace all the call center by AI. Guess what happened? In 24 hours, they almost lost everything because AI was advising women that complain about weight gaining to cut calories when they already were bulimic or anorexic to cut more calories. Remember when I said the content and context, and it's still AI is not good enough. Sales script. AI scripts sound confident but robotic. Client disconnect. I don't like to be treated by a chatbot if I have basic information like what is my package with Amazon. But the truth to be told, if you rely only on AI to make a script to talk to a client, you're losing the complexity of human have, and that is a huge risk. Automatization plus overconfidence equal disaster. Run everything, run different sources, Google it, go to people who knows, run it by yourself. You always need to be doubting. One of the things that told me is one of the best advice I ever gave is doubt everything. Doubt me too. I'm human. I can make mistakes like everybody else. And doubt yourself because AI can give you overconfidence and that can mess with you. The uncanny effect, and we have an anecdote that we're gonna laugh. Elva and I, we're probably gonna laugh for a long, long time. Uncanny effect. Your brain hates not knowing. It's fill the gap with fake meaning. Confusing feel unsafe. Uncertainty trigger wrong conditions. The uncanny effect was brought by Sigmund Freud in 1934. The report I think was published by Penguin. How I do remember that. Anyway, and the concept is when something looks so real and you know that it's not, your brain goes all over the way trying to look for confirmation, and those confirmation bias confuse you. Actually, the Polar Express movie was a failure because the images for kids brains and for adults never have a line where it's human, is not human, it is not. So in 1979, a Japanese professor explored the uncanny effect when robotic start coming because this is not new. The first computer is from 1960. You know that? And actually, the first computer was a woman who bring it to the table. We're gonna talk about that another time. So what happened with that is he realized that the brain rejects everything that is too similar to human, but we know is not human. So the uncanny effect, it was something is so similar to reality that is spooky. Basically, is that confusing minds don't make decisions. And I've been using that phrase for a long time, and now I find out that other people use it. It's not that it's exclusive mine, but I think I come up with that crazy idea. Why this matter to you? Because because your brain is your voice. Don't lose it. The most beautiful thing a human being can have is their own voice, is your brain. It's beautiful, it's messed up, and mine is fucked up as nothing else than I know, but I would change it for one day in my life. I'm intense, I'm too much, but I love my brain. I stop fighting with that and I love my brain because I can process huge amount of information in a simple way. But now with AI, everybody like, oh, what are you gonna do? Like keep using my brain. I'm never gonna stop doing it. Things first, AI second. If you let AI lead, your brain stop learning. You need to learn. Now I went back to learn Italian. I'm fluent in Italian, but I haven't spoke Italian in so long, except when once a year go to Milan. Then I lost it. So I went back to study Italian. Beside that, I'm start another master in neuroscience and neuromarketing. I'm turning 54. Do I need it? Yes. Why? Because my brain need to be fed all the time. Don't let convenience kill your mind. Effort build intelligence, comfort destroy it. Effort build intelligence, comfort destroy it. It's like your body. If you stay on the couch for too long, your muscles are gonna stop failing. Happened to me. I don't exercise. I need to go back to that. Use AI to accelerate not to think for you. If you have conflicted ideas, use AI to put all the ideas together and decide what is the best idea to have. But do not rely on AI. AI make you fast, only you make you smarter. And the slides were short, but the conversation was long. So let's see if what happened. Let's see if we have any questions. The best way to learn is when you disagree with someone. And guess what? That happened not through AI, it's happened to human interaction. So oh my God, I finished on time with all the things that I talk. Elva, do you see any questions? Can I check with you? And what's up if we have any questions? Nope, I don't think so, no? I think we're good to go. Guys, if you want to put questions after the live, if you want to put questions after the event, we're going to be answering. Don't be shy. A lot of the questions coming in private message, I reply. John was a sweetheart. He put the question yesterday publicly. But come on, do it. The only way to learn is not to ask AI. The best way to learn is to have this direct communication. Tomorrow is not going to be a slice, it's going to be a conversation. We're going to ask you to be respectful with the conversation tomorrow because it's a complex topic and complicated topic. We're going to center in what Jeff knows, and we're going to use his past to give us a content and context of the situation. Let us know what else you want to learn, what else you want us to talk with you, because you're the audience, you're the reason we are here. Next week, we're going to talk about on Monday difficult conversations and how to avoid bullying. In Thanksgiving, we're going to talk about bullying. The body language you use and how you walk on the street can make you better or not. I'm using a cane. It's super cool, but I'm using a cane to walk. And when I was walking in Chicago yesterday, I collect canes, so now I have the chance to use it. This is super cool. So I was walking with a cane, and I knew I'm going to be probably a little more victim. I can get I can become the prey. So the way I was walking, the way I was looking around, it was different. That happened when you know how to manage your body language. And after Thanksgiving, probably people is going to give you a hard time about dating. So we're going to talk about body language and dating, but not the BS that everybody talk. We're going to talk about how many times you need to interact with someone, how your brain works in love, what's not love, and how many signals you need to give your partner, no matter who they are, to know that you're interested. And one anecdotic thing, because you're more attractive doesn't mean you're going to have more date. It has to do with how you show availability, not being easy. Guys, it's a pleasure to be here with you. I hope you enjoy it. The idea was, again, not to talk around about AI. Again, AI is the best thing in my personal life, at least that happened. Elva say it all the time, and I'm guess you too. Just learn how to use it, be conscious. Don't depend on that, because one day, actually this week, internet fall, ChatGPT didn't work, cloud share or something like didn't work. We didn't have ChatGPT, Amazon couldn't work, and guess what? We survived the oldest one because we knew how to function. See you tomorrow at 12:15. Bye guys.